What's the first thing that comes into your mind when you hear the word Battlefield? For me, it's running down the streets in that multiplayer era of gaming. Tank shells exploding next to you, the squad yelling in comms, jets and helicopters flying above you, dogfighting, all while you're trying to hold that conquest point, or even rushing an objective and hearing that sound of that bomb going off and frantically trying to disarm it. And then something unexpected happens. Somewhere along the way, that magic faded. And for me, it was a turning point. The moment the series really lost its footing, and it was Battlefield 2042. It was supposed to be the next evolution. The hype before the launch was unreal. People were ready for that next-gen, all-out warfare experience. And what we got? Well, a train wreck in slow motion. And I'm not the only one thinking that. And then come along Battlefield 6. And wow, I've been playing the beta and it's just been so impressive. I've been thoroughly enjoying it. You can see in the background here, the biggest win that I'm going to start talking about is the class system. How that was missed in 2042. You wouldn't know what you were coming up against. You know, in 2042, you'd be running at a sniper and all of a sudden you think, oh, he's got nothing else on him. And you pull out a grenade launcher and you're like, what's going on here? And, you know, it really just lost that Battlefield feeling. You know, no longer were squads cohesive working together. So what did they do? They brought it back, the return of that class system. We're talking about the classic four: Assault, Engineer, Support and Recon. Each with their own clear roles and tools. Assault pushes objectives and thrives on mobility. Engineers are tank and aircraft killers, keeping enemy vehicles in check but also repairing your own. Support is a lifeline. Now, as almost like a combat medic, you know, quicker revives, pulling people into cover, which is a fantastic mechanic if I don't say so myself. You know, no longer you're in the middle of an open warfare trying to pick somebody up and heal them. You can drag them behind cover and heal them. Fantastic addition. You know, Recon, gathering intel, spotting people. They've just recently announced that they're going to be changing it so they don't have the spawn beacon, it's going to Assault. So they won't just be camping in the hills anymore. Fantastic. Battlefield, they're listening to us. They finally are listening to us. The game modes that you're seeing on in the background here, there's a variety of game modes. It's all looking fantastic. In 2042, DICE replaced all of the class loadouts and classes with specialists. Hero shooter style characters with unique gadgets. The problem, it made everyone feel the same. You could have an assault style weapon but carry anti-tank launchers. You could have an SMG and spawn beacon. It blurred the lines between roles and wreck squad composition. With classes back, there's that clarity. You know what your role is, you know what your squad mate is capable of, and you can build a balanced team with a purpose. This isn't just nostalgia, it's a fundamental fix to Battlefield's gameplay loop. It brings back what needed for coordination instead of just letting them run around and do their own thing. And I've been thoroughly impressed with the absolute stunning Battlefield 6 beta. I played the early access beta and then I played it over the weekend or two and I was thoroughly enjoying it. Some people online, from what I've been reading, have been really enjoying it. Some people haven't, so I want to know your thoughts on this video and what you think about it. Let me know in the comment section down below. Subscribe, as always, we are well on our way to 1.8k subscribers now. Thank you ever so much. And leave a like as well. Let's aim for 35 likes on this video and continue setting the scene. So why was Battlefield 24 such a big disappointment? Well, it wasn't just the fact that we lost, you know, the class system. 2042 strayed from the formula. Let's be brutally honest about it. It was one of the most disappointing launches in modern FPS history. The maps were massive but empty. It looked good in marketing shots but terrible for actual gameplay through. You'd spend forever running into the action only to get obliterated by a tank you couldn't even encounter. Remember the hovercrafts that could drive up the side of buildings? Who didn't think that that was a thing that possible? You know what I mean? A multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar company couldn't even figure out that people would drive hovercrafts up the side of buildings and get tanks to the top of the building. It was just, it just lacked polish. It felt like it was chasing trends, trying to be a hero shooter, trying to be a sandbox, trying to be everything but Battlefield. And that's why the fan base drifted away so quickly. You can see here in the background, I'm playing a different game mode called Breakthrough, where you have to push the enemy. Now, it's giving me that, look, I mean, look at the vibes I'm getting. Straight away, I'm pulling somebody out of cover, healing them, getting them back into action. It's a tight, narrow alleyway. It's a tight corridor. I'm thinking, right, I'm going to get my LMG in there. Unfortunately, I don't get it this time. But it's giving me that Operation Metro vibes. It's a tight, narrow corridor. We're going to have to break through somehow. How are we going to do it? So, where did all this hype start coming from there? Well, Battlefield 6 trailer. Wow. It was absolutely fantastic. it felt genuine excitement again. It felt like they were listening to us. It felt like they were bringing back that Battlefield formula. It was darker, it was grittier, it was more grounded. Gone is the overly bright arcade-like vibe of 2042. Instead, we've got the tone that feels closer to Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, where you're right in the middle of that chaotic war zone with a crumbling world around you. Now, I'm not letting the childish Selby win the dream. We've been burned before. But it wasn't just cinematic stuff, it showed moments that felt like Battlefield. Tanks charging through city streets, infantry holding choke points, aircraft swooping dangerously low. That layered chaos is what we've missed for years. And then come along the open beta, which everybody could play. And it was like, well, they're giving everybody a chance to play the beta here. Fantastic, fantastic from EA to let people try out the game here. It was impressive. Not just me, other people were saying it. The optimism really started to grow. People who've got hands on with the game, like myself, say it feels like Battlefield again. However, there is some people saying that it's still not quite right, but they are listening to people. One of the biggest complaints I read from the online forums and online community was the time to kill. And one of the devs has come out and said, right, send me video evidence of what's going on and we'll work on it. Battlefield, they're listening to us. They want to build the perfect Battlefield game. Everything just felt fantastic. And we only got 2 maps realistically to play with, but you could feel that they were already more intelligently designed, not just open wasteland, but spaces that mix that open ground with tight corridors, vertically and strategic choke points, objectives that aren't just random flags in a field anymore, they're locations that matter, funnel action that creates unforgettable firefights. The pacing is sharp, you get into the action faster without sacrificing scale, and the chaos, the unpredictability cinematic of what the hell's just happened, that is back. That is a huge shift from the lifeless 2042 battles. And destruction is back. Now you see me here, I'm trying to destroy this wall in the background because I hope it will open up another vantage point for us. And this is where I feel like it's let down a little bit. That wall should be destroyable because it opens up to here where this little corridor is. If I want to be able to destroy that wall and then get a new vantage point, I should be able to do that. But I'm not going to read too much into it because it is the beta. You know, the buildings are crumbling. See, I tried to shoot it with an RPG then and it didn't work, and I'm thinking, okay, this wall just clearly doesn't want to come down. But it's a good start. We want to get back to that Levolution sort of era where, you know, you could blow up a building and change the whole map, or blow up a dam and half the area would be flooded. That's the level we want to get back to. It's not perfect, not everything is destructible, but as I say, it's starting to feel like Battlefield again. Having that meaningful destruction is a massive win. It can change how Battlefields play and gives you that satisfaction of literally reshaping the Battlefield mid-match. And I'm hoping they expand it and allow you to destroy pretty much most walls and gives you that option to go out and do what you want to do. It would be absolutely fantastic. The weapon feel. This is one of the biggest probably gripes at the moment for a lot of people. They do feel solid, responsive, weighty, satisfying to fire. The sound is a classic DICE shooter sound. You can feel the difference between an assault rifle crackle and a sniper's echo. However, there is one issue, lack of recoil. Pretty much every single weapon that you fire has no recoil. You could be sitting there spraying with a heavy machine gun and not even move a single inch up or down, left or right. And I just feel like that needs tweaking a little bit because all the weapons feel like laser beams. It makes them easy to use and also lowers the skill ceiling, but it should be something challenged to master the recoil patterns, especially at range. And without that, flights risk feeling flat over time. Hopefully DICE tunes this for launch. I've already mentioned that they're going to be tuning the shotgun to make it more user-friendly. For me, however, I enjoy how the shotguns feel. It should be one-shotting people at point-blank range. It shouldn't be like Call of Duty where you get hit markers. It should be, right, I'm up next to you with a shotgun, I'm going to pull the trigger and I'm going to blow you away. It shouldn't be, well, you might have hit him or you've just caught him. If I'm standing point-blank range with a shotgun, it should be a one-shot. So I'm hoping they do tweak it a little bit so it's not sniper, but it still does enough damage at close range. So what is all this meaning though? What is all this bringing back together? And for me, it's feeling that Battlefield feeling is back. It's fantastic. Despite the small issues, the most important part is the feeling of the game. That unpredictability of chaos, the sense that you're living, breathing war zone where anything can happen. A helicopter clipping into a building and spiraling into a tank. Even helicopters crashing into buildings now can destroy them, or tank turrets can fly off and destroy buildings. That level of just immersiveness and how they've worked on that is fantastic. The chain reaction of explosions, your squad making a desperate push through smoke and debris to capture that final objective in overtime. The kind of moments no other shooter delivers quite the same way. For the first time in years, I've seen people leave matches talking about this just happened, or that happened, or did you see when I blew up the tank? It was fantastic. And that's when you know Battlefield is on the right track. However, final thoughts on this. So is Battlefield finally back? I'm leaning towards yes. The class system's return alone is a massive step in the right direction. Destruction is back, the chaos is back, and the early beta feedback is positive. There are definitely still tweaks that need to be made, and I'm not saying it's perfect by any stretch of imagination. Recoil balance, destructibility improvements, but those are all solvable before the launch. What matters to most is DICE seem to be listening to the fans this time. They're not just pushing us aside and saying, this is how the game's going to launch, you better be happy with it. If they launch a polished game, complete with features players expect, and support it properly after release, Battlefield could be looking at a genuine redemption arc, one of the biggest comebacks in FPS history. And they've also included a campaign, which was so missing from 2042. How can you release a Battlefield game without a campaign? We all grew up loving Bad Company, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4 campaign. Even the war stories of Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5 were absolutely fantastic. To release 2042 with no campaign was a stupid mistake, and I'm glad they're bringing back the campaign. It looks an interesting story. I'm looking forward to playing it. Let me know what you guys think. I'm really, really, really hoping that they nail this one. I love Battlefield, and I really want it to be a fantastic game. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. I appreciate each and every one of you for checking out this video. Please subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next episode, and I'll catch you on the battlefield.